Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back. As they say, I have in my hands nothing but an iPad Pro on the M4 in such a thin box, because the Apple does not even put a power adapter in your tablet for 3,000 euros, sold separately. And this thing on the M4 is an old processor. What is it? What are we talking about? Because a year ago, I showed you a MacBook on the M4, and now it's time to repeat it. Because some strange guy threw me out of the bushes again. What? Send it correctly. That's about like this iPad Pro on M5. And you say, wait, why is the box the same? I do not know, because Apple employs super lazy types who do not even redraw the art. But we see that. M5, guys. The presentation will be in a month, and as usual, Uncle Valio will show, tell, and, of course, test. Therefore, he brews something delicious to eat and drink, a world exclusive. Well, as usual. Let's go. In fairness, there was not always such a thin box, because this is the iPad M4, which I specifically have and pay attention. Here is a normal box with a power adapter. And M5 too. That is, in some markets, Apple sells us this kind of thing. Of course, well, I really don't understand. You take an iPad Pro seller 2 terabytes with some nano-texture glass for 3,000 euros. And they didn't even put you some kind of power delivery adapter for 45 watts. It's embarrassing. While the app is doing this kind of stuff, we will blame them in every possible way for this, scold them, and talk about devices that they have not yet announced. This is karma, guys. What do we see as a result? 256 gigabytes, a 13-inch version of the Wi-Fi only on the M5 processor. In fact, as with MacBooks that year, nothing damn will change on the chassis hardware. Yes, that is, the same colors of silver space black. The same diagonals, respectively. This is of course sad. That is, every year we wait for some greatness, and they just tell us, here's a new processor for you 15% faster, live with it somehow. And you're like, why the hell do I have an M5 processor in my iPad at all? There is still no answer to use. It's damn inconvenient, so let's open it at last and see if something has changed. I covered the lilac with my palm, and then you never know what. Come on, it's actually a funny feeling when you unpack a product that hasn't been announced yet. Even if it's not wow, which is different from the last generation, but nevertheless it still smells exclusive. Well, listen, yes, as I expected, it's still the same iPad, but the joke is that Apple hasn't announced the M5 processor either. So we have a double exclusive today, just like last time. Beauty? It is the same aluminum as the new iPhones Pro. So you met. We were waiting for the iPad to become titanium, but in the end the iPhone became aluminum. So, here we have with you here is such a suit of wiring. That's great. And of course, the same power adapter, which, damn it, was not put here to that poor thin guy, and I was not mistaken. But 45 watts and 20 watts is somehow stale, but you can have more. And buy it yourself if you want to charge quickly and deftly. So, here we have nothing supernatural with you, it just tells you how to use the tablet, for those who do not know at all. There are some tips. Of course, the 25th year. It is indicated everywhere that this is the 25th year, but there is nothing else in the envelope. That is, imagine, this envelope took more paper than this rotten stuff that was put inside. In general, they could already print on the envelope itself and save ink. Guys, Apple, but we need to do something about the packaging. Well, it's just somehow without a soul at all. You just open it and it costs 2,000 euros. Seriously, this is well, but how? And of course, I'm pretty sure that this tablet is on an iPad OS 26. But suddenly there is something else interesting here, some 2601 that recently came out or something else. Suddenly the Apple is already there from the factory flooding them. Let's take a look. Ta. Hello, dear. iPad 26 obviously. The design is standard. Activation of the iPad. Is it activated? We'll find out right now. I'm an adult Face ID. Later I don't need the password code parameters either, because I wanted to say crime. But in no case is this about us. Do not transfer anything, do not log into the account, configure everything later, do not use anything. Everything is accepted. Updated, of course, turned on. Turn off the geolocation services. Ahahaha. Now, here it is like this. And Russian applications, please download. Yes, everything is great. These are good fellows. Voila. Well, how to understand that this is a damn new iPad, and in no way, until we download the appropriate application. This is where the M4 will come in handy, with which we will compare it. See what we can take a quick look at. For example, when this device was manufactured, this information is in the state of the battery. And we see that August is 2025th year, as, for example, and fresh iPhones. Then, of course, we go to watch about this device. And on the old one, we see an iPad about 13 inches M4, and on the new iPad about 13 inches M5. And there is a version of 26.0. But there are no surprises here. Look what else I found on the iPad with 26. I do not know why, but you can make the left column here already. Well, suddenly you like it like that, huh? Customization. A difference has been detected. This iPad doesn't say it's an iPad Pro at all. Look, there is no service information about the design of Apple and California, or about sample China. Perhaps this is a specific sample that simply does not have this application, so let's see if it will be, let's say, on a commercial device, but maybe Apple has removed any designations, as it happens on an iPhone. It also does not say that this is an iPhone Air or something like that. Yes, nothing is written here at all, only Apple and only that's it. Therefore, in general, it seems to be a working solution, so to speak. If you want an engraving, Apple can also file an engraving for you for individual, so to speak, buns. And so that's it. Some kind of iPad. Fuck knows. Damn, if it's not written on it, no one can tell the difference there at all. Well, let's go. Geekbench 6. What will tell us in this case? So, in the old version, we have a processor M4. Here, we do not have a processor model, but we see that in terms of clock frequency, we remained approximately in the same indicators. But there were 8 gigabytes of RAM, and now how many? 12 gigabytes of RAM. Don't let these strange numbers confuse you. And now, right away, without postponing, we are starting, of course, the benchmark. Let's go. Which iPad will come to the finish line first? That's the question. Look here, we already have some kind of compress going on, but here there was only text. Here we already have object detection, and here we have compression. That is, a second faster. And while these poor devils are doing their tests, I still have a question. Why do we need an iPad Pro 4 M5? In the modern world at all, in order to change your old iPad, not even about some kind of, I don't know, the 16th year. For almost 10 years, it has already become obsolete, the battery has been annihilated, and you are like, well, what is there on the market? In principle, with this logic, it will be sold. That is, roughly speaking. Right now you go to the Apple Store, buy an iPad Pro 4 M4, after the presentation you come, and they give you an iPad Pro 4 M5. Fuck, nothing has changed. Yes, it's a little faster, but objectively it's not the device that there will be a queue behind. Because it's just a default, it's a base, and it's sad. And look, of course M5 arrived first, and did it literally a few seconds faster. Do I understand correctly? Yes. And what do we see in terms of indicators? And I'll answer you right away. In the single core, there is a difference of 10%. In the multi-core, there is a difference of 15%. Let's see what the Apple says at the presentation, but look at the chip itself. According to the information, at least the one that we have 3 cores, 6 cores, the caches are the same, that is, nothing has changed. L2 cache has become bigger. Look, there were 4 megabytes, it became 6 cheers, for the technical process is not clear. But I think that the same 3 nanometers are at best some new revision, otherwise everything is plus or minus. And if you look at the graphs, everything is so close that it seems like 10% is worth updating. No, of course not. But let's see what happens to the graphics performance. And let's go Zaitstim Quaka. Pow. 2222222. Listen, well. So, 74,568. Oh, there's already a nicer run-up. Already here, it seems that for a reason. But there is a feeling that the UMP, due to just more RAM and other things, gives just more pleasant numbers. But globally, the devil knows, but the graphics performance has increased by 34%. Well, let's round it up to 35. That is, of course, it will be easier for him to do the same tasks as the last generation. Or perhaps he will be able to raise the plank of just the iPad iPhone games a little higher. Although again, this is not the device on which you want to play Resident, God forgive me, Oriole. Well, according to the classics, let's see how they will show themselves about the iPad in AnTuTu. Well, Oh no, well, about the same. Listen, in the AnTuTu, the run-up is not so large scale, and look, the CPU M4 turned out to be even faster. While the GPU, of course, the new processor M5 went around the largest increase in memory, and X is generally forget it. That is, there is some strange story about the CPU. What happened? Why, what the fuck? Why the CPU on the old M4 turned out to be more productive? At the same time, you see, here he sees that this is an iPad about 2024 year, and here we have an unknown device. But this? But maybe it's just not the adaptability of the test. I do not know how to explain it, because well, how can a new processor lose in processor performance to this unfortunate M4 specifically for the test? I got a folio cover, because I thought suddenly it would not fit. But now I see that this is redundant information. Yes, the old folio cover will absolutely fit the new tablet, because once again nothing has changed. Yes, respectively, and the folio cover, and the keyboard, everything will fit from the last generation. Here Apple did not invent bicycles, move magnets, transfer any nuances. Everything works absolutely awesome in this regard. Well, at least thank you for that. As they say in the modern world, yes. Yes, everything is as it should be. What's in the dry residue? These are two absolutely identical tablets that differ in nothing at all. In other words, we have the same camera with you. The front ends are also the same. Here again, there are no wow jokes, no square sensor, as in the new iPhones. Yes, this stage center is supported, but that's not it. From the point of view of the main camera, from the point of view of the front end, everything is the same. From the point of view of the chassis, these are also two absolutely identical tablets. Maybe it's too early, yes, to throw in something new, because we haven't moved away from the Leda tandem yet, where we're going. But it seems that the update is too minor, even at the level of the processor M5 basic, because 10%, 15%, 30% is all of course great, that the Apple squeezes out such numbers every year, but fuck knows. Perhaps a real kind of buzz breakthrough awaits us in processors of the M5 Pro, M5 Max level and so on. While for a tablet, to be honest, and M4, I do not know how to load it, so M5 is just redundant. This is a processor that is not needed in a tablet. I do not know of a single task that needs to be solved on such a tablet to load even the M4 100%. But no sane person will mount normal videos on a tablet, and you can mount crappy ones on an iPhone. Such things. Well, maybe the Apple will tell us something else at the presentation. On the other hand, maybe we have some other devices, who knows? Subscribe to the channel, to our cart. All sorts of wonderful activities take place there. You can win yourself some tablet, a Win It, and some other prizes. Vilsik was with you. Bye.